Welcome to the HEROH Podcast. I am your host, Dr. Jermaine Ware. On today's episode, we're going to go through ice versus heat, when to use them, what they do, and when it'd be best for you for each one of those. But before we do that, I'd like to share with you a couple things. We have extended our raffle to Hamilton, an American musical in Chicago. We've extended that deadline until May 20th. And what we'll be doing there is raffling off those tickets at the Sparks Athletic Refinery Open House. We'll be doing it through Facebook Live as well as Instagram Live. Instagram is HEROH Chiro, HEROH You can go to our Facebook page. That is facebook.com/Dr. J Ware, DRJWARE. You can follow us there. And if you still haven't gotten a ticket, you can go to drjware.com/Hamilton. You can purchase a ticket. And there are multiple ways to get free entries, either through HEROH Chiropractic, Sparks Athletic Refinery, or a Better You Wellness if you're in the Indianapolis area. So you can do that. That's Fishers, Carmel, Indianapolis. Any of those areas, you can go there, get your see what you need to do to get a free entry, a free ticket to that raffle. But getting into today's topic, ice versus heat. The reason this came up is because I have a lot of people that come to the office. I work with a lot of athletes, and a lot of people are asking, when should I, they come in with an injury. So it's like, what should I do? What can I do? Should I ice it? Should I heat it? What can I do to make this go away, so to speak? And that's, a lot of people want to self-help, and that's great, but sometimes we can actually be doing damage. So when it comes to ice is a vasoconstrictor, which means it's going to shrink your blood vessels, not allow as much blood flow to get to an area. It oftentimes, yes, decreases inflammation, but it may be increasing inflammation a little too soon. So we have to be aware of that. What is heat? Heat is a vasodilator. So it's going to increase blood flow, increase special chemicals to that area to clean up that area. Those are immune system chemicals that are coming along to kill infections and bacteria and that type of stuff. So that's what's happening with heat. So when do you want to use them? You kind of have to measure this out and think about it. So heat, a lot of times, just feels great. I mean, let's be honest, when somebody's rubbing heat on you, when you have a hot pack on you, any of that, it usually feels good. But on the other side of that, it can be prolonging your injury and allowing it to heal actually slower. Your body has a natural response to inflame, to be, if you have an injury, for it to be inflamed as well as to heat up. A lot of times when you have an injury, it'll be hot because that's what's, your blood is increasing in that area. There's, like I said, all the other chemicals are going to that area. So by heating it up, you're going to actually put more heat in that area, increase the blood flow, maybe a little bit too much. So that's something you may want to keep in mind. Another side, this is a side note before I get back to this. If there's something on like a skin irritation or something like that, like if you had like some people have boils and stuff on their skin. If you put heat on that, you would see it start to probably heal a little bit faster because you're bringing a bunch of those chemicals, those natural chemicals to that area. So whenever you're putting heat somewhere, you're bringing your body's natural immune system to the fight, so to speak. So that's the hot zone, right? So that's where the war is. So that's where your immune system's going to fight to get that area healed. Just side note there. Back on this, the other side of this with cold. Cold, on the other hand, is going to, like I said, decrease inflammation. And so inflammation in itself isn't actually a bad thing. So because your body's bringing those chemicals to the fight, that can actually work out. If it gets pretty large, it's immobilizing a joint or something that you may have injured. It'll get large enough to swell it, to immobilize it, because it's not meant for you to move it. It wants to heal itself. Your body's always wants to heal itself. It's going to take it through its natural stages of healing, and that's what you want to allow it to do. So if you have an injury, you injure a muscle or a joint, here's your trick question. Do you ice it or do you heat it? If you're thinking heat, your area is probably already full of blood. It's probably already swelling a little bit. It's probably warm. So if you heat it, what are you going to be doing? If you're heating, you're going to bring too much of a good thing, which can also turn into a bad thing. So you don't want to heat it. You just want to leave it alone when it comes to the heat. Do you want to ice it? Well, if all those chemicals and everything else are coming there to that area to fight the fight, if you ice it, you're gonna slow that process down. So do you really want to ice it? You probably want to leave it alone on that one as well. So the best thing to do is nothing. In some cases, in a lot of cases, the best thing to do is nothing. I know you want to kill the pain. I know you want to decrease decrease the inflammation. Taking those like medications, anti-inflammatories, and all those things. A lot of times in a sense, if you look at your immune system as an army or as your military, right? You look at your immune system as your military. Anytime you take a drug such as an anti-inflammatory, what you are doing in a sense is wiping out half your military and saying, you come on back. We don't need you. You're decreasing your own, ammunition, but you're allowing the other guy, the enemy, to continue to come forward and march forward as they were. So they're building and they're coming towards you and they're coming for you. Something to keep in mind the next time you want to take one of those inflammatories. Now, being in my profession, I see a lot of pain when it comes to your back pain. Something to keep in mind, people are like, they may be shoveling snow or working in the garden or washing their car, what have you. And then they say, oh man, all of a sudden my back was hurting. It tightened up on me and locked up on me and I couldn't move X, Y, and Z. Something to keep in mind is if that back pain hasn't been gone, if it hasn't gone in 48 hours, if you start getting into that 72-hour window, then it's not muscle. That's something you should know. A lot of people want to wait it out. And I get people who've been, it's been 5 days, it's been 7 days, it's been 2 weeks. I thought it was going to go away. If it hasn't gone away in 24 hours, it's not a muscle thing and it's not going away. So by that 72 hours, you should be looking for your chiropractor at that point. Because what's happened is your muscles have tightened up to lock up and secure that area. Because like I said before, your body always wants to protect itself, right? So it's going to lock up that area, those muscles, and it's going to be stiff. And regardless of what you try to do, it can heat it up. That's going to work. It's going to feel good. Like I said, heat feels good all the time. So that's going to work for a little while, and then it's going to lock back up. And it may even be worse this next go around. So you've done something internally, probably a spinal injury of some sort where you misaligned those vertebrae just enough. They cause some nerve interference, and those nerves are telling those muscles, lock this area down so we don't hurt me anymore. And that's what's going on with that area, with the nerves and the muscles there along your back. So that's something to keep in mind. It also happens the same way around your neck. Most people want to just throw ice pack on their neck or a heat pack on their neck and say, oh, it's gonna, it'll be all right. And they want to lay down for a while. Well, that's not always a good idea. The best way, if you want to heat something up, is to get that internal heat going. And you get your internal heat going through movement, whether that's walking, a movement of some sort, which builds internal heat. That's going to heat up those joints and those muscles and allow them to get more blood flow to those areas, allow that healing process to speed up, all those different things. A lot of people with back pain, they say, oh, should I not do anything for a while? And my first thing is, no, keep moving, keep walking, keep doing what you're doing, keep being active, because by being active, you're actually speeding up the healing process. So that's something you want to keep in mind when you have some sort of injury. If you have some sort of injury, and if you know someone that has some sort of an injury, feel free to pass on that advice. Don't go telling them to grab the ice real quick, because that's something I think we grew up with, and that is one of those not wives' tales, but it was just misinformation. We didn't know any better, but now we do. Any type of sprain or anything like that, just let it be for a little while until it gets to the point where it's so swollen that it's painful. Something else particular when it comes to ankle sprains, most of those chiropractors that went to Logan College, there's a special technique that we utilize that can actually help someone with a sprained ankle. Say it's the ankle where it's sprained, you like on crutches, can't really walk on it, that type of thing. Special technique that I've used on several people, and they couldn't walk on that ankle, but I got a hold of them within the first 12, 24 hours of that sprain. Utilize this technique, and they're like, oh, I can feel my ankle now, and it's feeling so much better. It's best when it's an immediate thing. So if you had a chiropractor like on staff with your sporting event and you did it right there, you did it and then they did the technique on you right there, that would be, great in terms of speeding up the healing process for that. But that's something to keep in mind. It's another side note. As we're talking about icing, I keep throwing these side notes out to you, but icing, when it comes to that, something if you haven't ever tried it before, ABY Wellness has a full body cryotherapy, which is great for like allowing your body to rejuvenate. They also have float tanks, and they have something called a local cryo, which if you really had to ice something, you could ice this particular area for like 3 minutes, and it would do the same. It would get it actually colder than if you were icing for 20 minutes. So that's something to keep in mind. That's a Better You Wellness, one of our partners. Couple things when you're icing. If you're not able to get to a fancy center like ABY Wellness, you can do, simply ice packs. If it gets to that point, get a couple different ice packs. Actually, you can use frozen peas or something else that's pretty malleable, so you can wrap it around a joint or wrap it around whatever you need to, if you need to. You can use a cloth between you. A dry cloth is going to be pretty comfortable. Wet cloth is really going to transmit that cold pretty nicely. And if you want, you can actually do I wouldn't do it skin on skin though. But if you want, you can actually wrap it, a little bit, and so it just stays stable, depending on what it is. You can leave the ice pack on there for 10 minutes, regardless of where it is, except for in your back, you could probably use it for 20 minutes. I wouldn't ice more than, I would split the icing up, like over an hour. So if I ice for 10 minutes, I wait another hour and then ice again. Can't use the same vegetables that you used the first time because they probably wouldn't be refrozen to that point fully, but you can grab another one, ice it again that way. So you don't have to go and spend a big dough on the ice packs, or go to your whoever and get an ice pack from them. You can just use what you have on your own. And the other thing is that when it comes to this stuff, be smart about it. If you have an injury, I know everybody wants their injuries just to go away, and sometimes they will, but be aware of if they don't. 48 hours is typically the rule. 48 hours, once you start getting into that 72-hour period, it's probably, it's probably something you need to get looked at. Don't wait it out all the time. Waiting it out can actually make it worse as well, because you take away the advantages that, especially, those practitioners who are more on the quote-unquote alternative side, you're taking away the advantage for them and utilizing those people, because they have a lot of tools that can operate within the moment. I know most people are used to going to, medical doctors, and they're going to get an anti-inflammatory and told to go home and ice. And in some cases that works, but a lot of cases it's not actually getting to the root of the problem. Something to keep in mind as you continue on your health journey. And I would like to leave you reminding you to check out that raffle, Dr. J. Ware Hamilton. Check that out. Check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/ Dr. J. Ware. You can follow me on Instagram at HEROH Chiro. You can follow me on Twitter at Dr. J. Ware. Look forward to hearing from you. If you have any suggestions for the show, comments, concerns, anything you would like me to discuss, talk about, I'd be happy to do so. The HEROH Podcast is a little different than some of the others that I do. There's another podcast called The Athlete.us. That podcast is also on iTunes. It's a little bit more focused towards athletes and service providers for athletes. But if anyone looking there, we do a lot with kind of exposing young talent and shining a light on some outstanding talent. I've been doing a lot of local stuff in Indianapolis here lately, but I'm open to the country, open to the world. So if you want to look us up there, you can tune into that podcast as well. And hey, feel free to hit me up on Twitter and share and let me know about the podcast. Hit me up on Facebook. You can let me know about the podcast. I look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, stay healthy, do the right thing, love, laugh, and live.